here in Hugo, Oklahoma to begin the process of moving these animals up to Maine. Rosie and Opal are going to be coming to Maine this week to begin their new life. I think they're going to be very comfortable. They're probably going to be the most staffed elephants in the country. They're going to have an hour and a half of physical therapy a day each. They're going to be eating specially formulated foods to try to enhance the flexibility of their joints. They are going to be exercised regularly. Their feet are going to be worked on every day. They're going to have a great amount of attention when they come to Maine. There is a shipper out of New York State, and he is at this moment heading down to Oklahoma to help load the elephants up.
Hi folks, Sheriff Stephen J. here, and today I have a real treat for you. I ran across a very intriguing individual, and this individual, his name is Jim Laurita. He's got elephants here, and they're Asian elephants. Jim, what's with the elephants?
Well, these elephants are old friends of mine. These are friends that I met a long time ago when my brother and I used to juggle on a circus. And it wasn't all you do to juggle, just do that twice a day. So they said, well, why don't you go work with the elephants? And so I met Rosie and Opal, and I started working with them when I was taller than them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. How many years is that?
Well, boy, over 30 years ago I met them when I was a young boy. I was 17 years old, and I went away to join the circus. And I worked with these two elephants, and I never forgot them. All throughout my life I said, I want to do something special for those two elephants. And so our dream came true, and we brought Rosie and Opal up from Oklahoma to take special care of them. After I worked with elephants in a lot of different places, I became a veterinarian, which is an animal doctor. And I knew that I could use my special skills as an animal doctor to take special care of these girls. And so some of that special care involves training them to do special things. They've both been injured. And when a person gets injured, he doesn't just lay on the couch. What he does is he tries to work his injuries to loosen them up and make them work.
Right, exactly.
So one of the things we do with these girls is called target training. I take a stick with a red ball on the end of it, and I make them reach for that stick in ways that actually make them more limber and help out their injuries.
Well, what else do you do to help these elephants?
Well, we have them on special diets. They eat special things to make them more limber and make their joints feel better. Also, poor Opal's got a problem between her toes. And she's got what we call a granuloma between her toes. And so to make sure that doesn't get infected and try to make it smaller, we have her soak her foot a couple of times a day in a special solution of betadine, which is a type of iodine.
Well, what do these elephants eat?
Well, they're mostly hay burners. You know, they eat about 3 or 4 bales of hay a day, but they're very inefficient. They're very inefficient in their eating. They arose as competitors to the ruminants. Ruminants are the creatures with multiple stomachs.
Ruminants?
Antelopes, of course, and there's one right around the corner here in the dairy farm, which is a cow. He's a ruminant too. And so they have this multiple chambered stomach, and it's very efficient. So they would go and they would eat all the grass and the leaves off the tree, and then the poor elephant's ancestors would come and there's nothing left to eat. So what are they going to eat? They're going to eat the whole tree. So these elephants can eat just about anything. In fact, in nature, they'll eat about 500 pounds of browse and graze a day. But they're very inefficient, so guess what? When they produce poop, which we all do, and you open up that poop ball, it looks just like hay. And so that's why we call them hay burners.
So you look at it and go, what the hay?
That's right. What the hay is hay.
That's a bad joke. So which one of the two elephants, which was the first elephant that you actually started taking care of?
Well, we brought them up together from Oklahoma as a pair. Rosie was the one that we were most interested in bringing. She was our old friend. And she was orphaned and bottle raised. And so she's been pushed around most of her life. She hasn't had a very good life as far as socially because she was more interested in people than she was interested in elephants. And the other elephants didn't like that. In fact, even when I had her when she was young, when I was taller than her, you couldn't walk her past certain elephants. They pushed her around and they would kick at her and they would throw their trunks at her. And so we said, well, that's not a good way to live. And so we said, can we find a special friend for her? And we did find a special friend, and her name is Opal. So she and Opal get along together very well. She loves Opal. They'll touch their trunks together. They'll rub on each other. And so it makes us very happy that now we have a special friend for Rosie. And Rosie's life now is very quiet. We take care of her. She meets a lot of school kids, of course, and then she teaches those school kids all about elephants and elephant conservation.
Now you mentioned Opal. Now Opal, you soak Opal's foot Now, is there any specific injury that Rosie has that stands out?
Well, poor Rosie's trunk doesn't work very well. Probably the most interesting part of the elephant's the trunk. It's got 150,000 different muscles. In our body, we've only got about 700 or 800 muscles. In her trunk alone, she's got 150,000 muscles. But her trunk doesn't work properly. We don't know why. It could be that she ate something that was poisonous that interfered with her ability to use her trunk. It could be she hit it on something or just getting old. But she wasn't drinking properly when she came up here. She would gather up the water and just splash it up into her mouth. And that, I don't know if you ever try to throw food in your mouth, but
No.
it doesn't work very well. And water or other drinks work even worse. So what we did, we said, well, if she can't get the water to her mouth, we'll get the water right into her mouth. And so what we do now when we water her, we just put the hose right in her mouth, and she drinks as much as she wants, like a kid drinking through a straw. And when she's done, she just spits it out.
Sounds like it works.
Yep, it works very well because she produces probably 30 gallons of urine a day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how much excrement she produces.
Well, you wouldn't believe the size of the pile we have out back.
Really?
It's very impressive. And what we do with that stuff, the poop and the hay together can be composted.
Really?
And compost is very valuable because it helps plants grow. And so what we do is we have it composted, which means that the bacteria will digest away and loosen things up and make it more nutritious for plants. And then we bring it back here and we sell it to people to help them in their gardens.
Well, that sounds very fascinating.
The whole circle, we feed them and then we use the compost. So we got it from head to tail. We use everything from the elephants because elephants are in trouble right now. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not.
Well, elephants are in trouble because of a couple of reasons. Asian elephants, like our two girls, the trouble is there's nowhere for them to live, really. There's no wilds left in Asia anymore. So they live in a park or a preserve or in captivity. That means they live with people. And there's only about probably 40,000 of them left in the world.
Wow.
And that's not enough to be a healthy species. And so we're trying to teach kids about that, and we're participating with kids to try to help organizations like the World Land Trust that are buying corridors to connect these different populations of elephants so they can become healthier genetically. The African elephant, the trouble is even worse. The African elephant's being poached. Poach is when they will hunt that poor elephant for his tusks. The male and the female African elephant both have tusks, and those tusks are very valuable. And bad people come and they shoot those elephants. Last year they shot over 40,000 elephants.
Wow.
40,000 of these beautiful creatures were shot for their tusks, which is just a tooth. A tusk is a type of tooth. And it gets carved up and sent over to China mostly. And for the Chinese people, to have a carved tusk in their house is a sign that they're wealthy. And so it's like
Wow.
if we park a fancy, up here, it's silly. You park a fancy car in your driveway to try to show people you got money. Over in China, what they do is they try to have a tusk in their house to show off, to show other people that they have money. And for that, the elephant dies. And so we're trying to teach the Chinese people that, because a lot of them don't even understand that these tusks come from elephants. They don't even realize that. So we're trying to teach them that these tusks are part of an elephant, and you have to kill the elephant to get the tusk. And I think once the Chinese people, who are good people, learn that, I think they're going to do a lot less poaching.
It'd be great for the elephants, that's for sure.
Yeah, it would.
Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're a busy guy and you got these elephants to take care of. I just thought I saw this and it caught my attention. But, well, I'm on my way back. Thank you, everybody, for sitting here with us. And thank you, Jim. And
You're very
that's
welcome.
it. Elephants.